All right, and we're on. So this marks, I want to say, a month and a half of trying to get this damn show started. You would think with being locked indoors that we would have got this done a lot faster, but somehow I got busier with being locked indoors. Don't explain how, just did. So me and Mike used to do movie reviews, as you know, from watching this channel. But the world took a crapper, so that kind of went in the dust. And I don't feel like paying $30 to watch Mulan, so you really can't review anything. And Mike lives in a state where you can't go to the movie theater.
Yeah, so I haven't seen New Mutants or Tenet or anything in theaters since March.
Yeah, and the only new thing I have seen is New Mutants because Disney won't let theaters, even if they're open, have Mulan. And my theater's a 3-minute drive down the road. So, but anyway, so we thought of two things we could do, and this is one of them. The other one I'm not going to say yet because we haven't picked out one to do yet, but it's whatever. This is something that is tentatively called a fresh take. It is going to be where one of the two of us, or if we invite a guest or do whatever, but it's mainly going to be me and Mike, where one of us is clearly obsessed with a thing, and if you read the title, I've got stuff on the walls back here to show what we're talking about. I can't do reverse directions to save my life. But Gurren Lagann is a series for me. It came out in, pretty sure it was 2007. It's 2007 or 2009. Pretty sure it was 2007. But I have watched it every year since 2009. And it means the absolute world to me. I am a person that continuously has self-esteem issues, self-doubt issues, confidence, all that kind of stuff. And it is a driving force to make me do other things. Every time I watch it, I feel like a better human being after doing it. That's why I watch it every new year to try and invigorate myself to do better things as the new year goes on. And for those of you who are watching this and have not seen it, you will know exactly why I say that when we get going into it, especially when I believe it gets mentioned in episode 2, how the gunman works. So you'll know exactly what I mean by the self-confidence, stuff like that. But so in this version of Fresh Takes, we'll be going through episode by episode with this first one. I have to exactly remember what the episode was called.
I got it.
Okay, they're all quotes from the show, but go ahead.
So the pilot episode is called Bust Through the Heavens with Your Drill. And yeah, that is a pretty apt title.
I'll let you go ahead, Mike. Like I said, you go nuts since you're the one who is technically having the fresh take here.
Okay, so first of all, a little bit of background of how I even found this series. Aside from Brock, telling me every day since we met that this is one of his favorite shows ever. No, but seriously, as I was first made aware of this when it was playing on Toonami back in 2013. And that was also around the time that that the director Kazuki Nakashima was also, gearing up to, start Kill la Kill and all of Studio Trigger's catalog.
Yes.
And I've even just got started over on my Tuned Up podcast. I've been getting into more modern anime, especially from Studio Trigger. So now it just seemed like the perfect time to kind of go back to the roots of how that company began, and it really began with Gainax's one of their last series, Gurren Lagann.
You should go check out Gainax. A lot of old Trigger people went to Gainax. And if we ever do Darling in the Franxx in the future, oh boy, can you tell. But go ahead, keep going.
So this pilot episode really just focuses on our three main characters in the Jiha village. So we meet Simone and Kamina, who I just realized is voiced by Kyle Hebert.
Yep.
You guys know him as the narrator from Dragon Ball Z and Gohan.
Yep.
So, all right. So the plot, according to Wikipedia on this, in Jiha Village, an underground town, Simone and Kamina live mundane lives with the constant threat of earthquakes. During an attempt to escape to the surface, something almost unheard of, Kamina and Simone bear witness to a gigantic wolf-faced gunman as it crashes through the ceiling into the middle of their subterranean home. Together with the gunman's pursuer, a girl from the neighboring village, Yoko, the two men find the key, a small gunman buried deep in the ground named Lagann by Kamina, and it literally is just named that out of the blue.
I love that so much. How are we going to get the title of the show? He's just going to name it.
To both defeating the massive intruder and leaving Jiha Village. Yeah, as far as pilots go, this is pretty perfect for setting up setting up everything. At least with these three characters that we've met.
Yeah, it's one thing that I say about this, and when we do get to the final episode, it shows it. This is one of my favorite examples in a show of what I want to say, escalation. This very first fight is they're fighting a gunman that can barely turn 10 degrees with a rifle, a sword, and basically the head unit of what becomes their gunman. And by the end of this show, I'm not going to say what for those who have not seen it and genuinely watch it along with this. Good God. You just... And it's all gradual. They don't rush anything, but it makes it there originally. And if you would say it out loud, they're just like, there's no way to gradually do that. But yeah, it is. It's... Everything is just, it's beautiful. It fully gets what it is. This show originally started as kind of like a parody on most mech animes. And
I could tell it was definitely taking a piss at at the material.
It is, because it's just like you're fighting this giant human with a sword. Or this giant gunman with a sword. And then you've always got the good-looking girl, you've got the balls-out leader, and the one scared kid. If anyone knows, get in the mech Shinji from Evangelion. They're kind of doing that a little bit, but not fully. One of my favorite things, again, what gets me and why I love this show so much, other than like the self-confidence stuff, is I'm a person that a lot of my friendships and a lot of the people who I call family are not people that are actually genuinely related to me. So,
same, honestly.
Yeah, so the relationship between Kamina and Simone and eventually other people, how strong it is really gets to me. So just like the little moments where Simone's scared shitless and he's just basically trying to give the core drill over to Kamina to have him pilot, and he's like, no, dude, you found this thing. You're going to go kick that thing's ass. And I'm not letting anyone else do it because I'm going to watch you do it and I'm going to cheer you on. I'm just like, he's the perfect Big Brother. I've never seen a better representation of Big Brother in anything.
Something that really struck me is like, the show makes it seem like they only met each other for like in that moment.
Yeah.
Like like Simone just runs into Kamina. He's like, no. Call me bro.
Exactly. It comes to make you realize he has to remind him of this. Like, no, stop being a Debbie Downer. I'm your bro. I'm not just some cool dude who likes you. I'm your bro, and don't look down otherwise. It's just like it in a backhanded kind of way. This a lot of times of how they just deal story. It's just like it's presented, and then they give you a little bit, and it means a lot more when you learn background details. This is it's one of my favorite versions because most mech anime shows are just like explosion porn. And what is the term? The term is called Etano Circus, which is just basically unexplainable volley of explosions for no reason, just because you have the budget to do it. And Gurren, for the most part, doesn't have the budget to do that right away. Once we hit what in Japan they call them cores instead of seasons. You can tell they were like, okay, you only used 20%. Here's the other 80, and then like another 100. Because, oh boy, does the animation go once you hit that second core. But yeah, it's super basic. It gets done what you need to get done. The characterizations, everything like that, and you get to show that the characters don't waver at all. Give or take, you only had them for like a half an hour.
True.
But they stay consistent. So, yeah, and I have to ask again: have you've seen fully every episode? You're just fuzzy because you haven't seen it in like 7 years. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't even know if I actually ended up finishing it. I just know I've seen like chunks of it on Toonami.
Okay.
But again, that was years ago. So this is a good refresher anyway.
Okay. Well, we'll make it.
Especially since like I've kind of made it my goal now to go through a bunch of filmographies. Like,
nice.
Like I'm trying to get through all the Miyazaki films.
Nice.
I'm trying to do Studio Trigger. There's a lot on my plate that I want to try to get
real
through.
Curious of when you get to Panty and Stocking, what you're going to think of stuff.
Oh, I love Penny and Stocking. That show is basically like Japan's answer to like the 90s Cartoon Network shows, like Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab.
You're not wrong. There's a lot of also great figures. Speaking of this, of a character we'll meet later, Nia and Yoko, where they at a lot of conventions they have these figures of them in the Panty and Stocking like clothing and art style. I've never been able to get my hands on one, but they're always displayed in what they have for shops and stuff like that. But they're really cool. But yeah, so we'll start to realize where you taper off because it'll seem like the show's ending halfway through it, and it doesn't.
Oh.
So I'll know where you kind of let off and where you didn't, because there's going to be moments that are going to be like, what the actual hell? And I'll know if that was an honest response or not, because there's still times when I rewatched it and I'm like, keep in mind, I probably watched it through at least 10 times. But yeah. I don't really know what else to say because we got the basics of it. You're going to get a lot more in the next episode, obviously, of what stuff goes on. Like Mike said, this is the most boilerplate, perfect, just set up for what's going to go on. The show knows it's ridiculous and it doesn't back off. And that's one thing I greatly appreciate about it as well before we basically cut short. These are going to be really short now that I think about it. So, but that's fine. They're only talking about half an hour episodes. But it fully knows it's ridiculous, and some shows, especially in anime, in my opinion, don't realize that they're ridiculous.
that can be a problem, but luckily with Studio Trigger, they and Gainax, I guess too, they know their audience.
They do. If you want to watch, gosh. Dang it. What I want to say. Oh, I just realized also that I got Trigger and Gainax mixed up. I think I did. I fully just realized I think I got Trigger and Gainax mixed up when I was telling you about Darling and the Franxx. Holy balls, did I just have a bad moment. Darling and the Franxx, hold on. Did I really just screw those two up? I think I did. Darling and the Franxx is by Trigger, correct? Am I wrong? Am I getting those two mixed up, or did I have that correct? Am I having a moment?
Hold on.
I might have been having a moment.
No, you're right.
Okay.
Darling and the Franxx is Trigger.
Okay, Darling and the Franxx is Trigger. All right, sorry. Gainax. Gainax is Gurren. Then it went to Trigger. I'm sorry. I got those mixed up. I'm sorry. Every now and then I get those mixed up because of a video by Giguk that I was going to recommend you. When realizing things are ridiculous, he has these videos called Blank Animes in Minutes. And his one for Darling in the Franxx is basically a stupid moment will come up, and then one of the characters will go, because trigger. Oh, that makes sense. And you'll hear someone in the background go, nope, it still doesn't. It's just like they go from, we're in outer space fighting plant aliens. Why are we doing this? Because trigger. No, that doesn't make sense. That's not a good excuse. It is. It's trigger. It makes sense. And Gainax as well. But yeah, so the next episode, speaking of Kyle, I totally was mispronouncing his last name. I always thought it was Hibbert. I was mispronouncing that for the longest time. Next time on Gurren Lagann will be, I'm going to pilot that thing, which it really gets to show how ridiculous the show gets, because you actually get to see that basically they say it in this, kick the impossible out the door and do what you need to make the impossible possible. You'll hear that in a song later, which is one of my favorite tracks in anything. And you get to meet the other half of the main part we're going to be fighting with, so I'm quite excited about that. This is a little disjointed how we had this the first time. We'll try and work on that for next time, so I'm sorry if this is a little all over the place. Both of us are just really excited to finally start doing a show again.
Yeah, same.
So we kind of just were like, Saturday. Okay, cool. All right. But yeah, we're going to do this episode by episode, unless something changes, which whatever. But the current plan is episode by episode. I don't know exactly what day these will uploads, but probably Saturdays will be when we record, if that stays consistent. We'll see. We do other podcasts and stuff like that with Renegade Pop Culture, so we're going to try and keep this consistent. We're going to try. Yeah, that was the first episode, and we'll get to the next one probably next weekend. I might have this up tonight. Shouldn't take that long to edit. I'm going to wait for an answer, because we might have a really cool intro for this, and I don't know if I could get it yet, but I have the message person. So until next time, you can find Mike at where?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CaptainK42. Check out all my quick thought reviews on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And look for me in all the various Facebook groups. And also, like Brock mentioned, check out all our podcasts at Renegade Pop Culture on Spotify, on Anchor, and go to our website, renegadepopculture.com, which I'm sure you'll find this video on soon.
You will, because Keanu wants some extra content, and I'll gladly give him whatever we can. You can find me literally at everything except for basically Instagram, because I don't use it, at Organoid Zero. Main thing I'm on is my Twitch recently. I'm trying to build that bad boy up, and it's getting there. So, all right. Until next time, we will see you guys later. I would try mimicking the eye catch little darn it, but I'm not good at it, so I'm not gonna. But until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.